Alright guys, we are back on the correct timeline and going for bad end number 6. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got my timelines all straightened out. And I have loaded the save from bad ending number 4. So all the choices from there are the same up to this point. And now, we have to do 7 drops, which is the correct amount. So hopefully we'll make it through the night, finally. Okay, so we bonded with brother, which is great. No more deaths by brother. And now we get some different options here with Corvin. I can help you.
I can handle this alone. I do this all the time.
You get hurt all the time, too. Oh, and last time you didn't exactly do a great job at handling this thing. It ran off and stalked me to my house again. And this time it punched a hole right in the barrier around my room. It's clearly getting stronger. Should I stand by and watch it rip you to shreds? You need help.
This is my responsibility.
Okay, are we back? We argue. And now instead of hugging him, sad face, we're gonna yell at him. I couldn't believe he was just going to leave like that. Something inside me snapped and I started shouting. Are you serious? Corvin flinched. You're going to sulk, then leave? Are you even kidding me? I took a long, deep breath. You're really unbelievable. You've been using me all this time. You've been hiding things, keeping me in the dark. And after you're sure I figured it all out, you're just going to skulk away into the night feeling sorry for yourself. Corvin turned and looked at me. I shoved him back against the fence, holding him there. Man, strong woman. I'm going with you.
No, you're not.
I glared up at him. You want to try to make me stay here? I won't get in your way when you're fighting, but I'm going with you. You can't even begin to pretend I'm not involved in this. It looked like he had lost all will to argue with me about it. His shoulders drooped and he nodded.
Just try to stay behind me, okay?
Okay. And that was our last choice, by the way, so whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. A Shakespearean quote, really. Think you I am no stronger than my sex? Corvin's eyebrows went up. Julius Caesar, Shakespeare? He shook his head.
You are unbelievable.
Hey, I can quote Shakespeare any time in any situation, pal. He gave me the most exasperated look. But even so, I saw the corner of his mouth curve up slightly, as if he was fighting not to smile.
Do you even realize how serious the situation is right now?
Yep. But letting myself freak out about it isn't going to help. I'll hang back by myself, away from where you are. That way you can deal with her without distractions. But I'm at least coming down part of the way. Hopefully that'll help draw her out. Oh! We went into the mines! Very cool. Corvin sighed and snapped his fingers. A small bluish orb of light appeared above his hand. Convenient. Aside from dealing with Ori, I wondered just how much magic he knew.
Then at least stay close to me.
We started into the mine shaft, picking our way down the sloped floor carefully. I shivered and moved closer to him, holding onto his arm. Corvin stopped abruptly.
Do you hear that?
I listened carefully. That sounds like a voice. Not just a voice, it sounded like someone crying. We shared a look and Corvin continued walking until we finally entered a slightly wider space. I immediately saw the source of the quiet sobs. Kara, the creature. It was curled into a ball, sobbing quietly down at the far end by a couple of wooden planks bracing the ceiling. Kara. It looked up, dark eyes fixating on me.
Nora, get behind me. Find somewhere to hide.
Right! Except there was literally nowhere to hide. There was barely enough room to do anything, much less anything to hide behind. I just backed up to give Corvin space. The Kara thing launched itself at us. Corvin instantly had his white grimoire out. It didn't seem to be doing anything. He very quickly resorted to his lightning, but it was still obvious he was at a disadvantage. I'd backed pretty far off, but I don't think his lightning was particularly suited to this closed-in space. I doubted it was going to be safe to get close enough to help. The creature hissed and backed away, then launched itself again. Even from where I was, I could see that the black mark on Corvin's face was spreading even more as he desperately attempted to purify the miasma. Clearly, his plan to hold her in place had failed. He didn't want to harm Kara, but he couldn't keep up like this. The white grimoire just didn't seem to be strong enough. And with his infection, I couldn't stand it anymore. Corvin, use the black one! I knew it meant Kara would lose part of herself, but that was better than her losing all of herself. It was better than Corvin dying. I couldn't stand that thought. Corvin, please! I don't know if he heard me, but Kara definitely did. She swung her head toward me and let out that ungodly shriek again. I fell to my knees, clutching my ears. Corvin faltered too, falling to his knees, trying to throw another lightning bolt her way. Kara rushed me, lashing out at Corvin with a claw as she passed by him. The claws raked across his chest, ripping open his shirt and leaving a blooming red stain in their wake. Corvin let out a scream and fell forward. I scrambled away from the creature barreling toward me. Focus. Focus. I swung my arm in a wide arc in front of me. Barrier! The air in front of me crackled with energy, and Kara ran smack into the barrier. It shuddered under the force of her attack and nearly knocked me to my feet. I tried my best to focus to keep the barrier in place. Suddenly, there was a loud snap that sounded almost exactly like a whip crack. Kara crumpled in front of my shield and shrieked. I staggered back, falling on the ground. She writhed on the ground, screaming as black smoke poured off her. It was awful. And when it was over, she looked more like herself again, but she was so small and so pale. Her eyes were wide, staring. She was breathing, alive, but... Corvin. My voice wavered as I called to him. I looked his way. He was standing not far off, black grimoire in one hand, clutching his chest with the other. There was so much blood. He fell again, and I stumbled to my feet, scrambling to him. Corvin! He collapsed on the stone as I reached him. I carefully rolled him over, pulling him onto my lap. Corvin. Oh no! No one warned me about sad CGs. Oh no. I'm getting... Ooh. Oh man, the Soji Okita feels are coming whooshing back all of a sudden. Oh no, I was unprepared. Oh no, I have erred. Oh boy, okay, oh boy. He smiled weakly up at me.
You're okay.
My hands danced frantically over his chest. I didn't know what to do. The gashes were so deep. I had to stop the bleeding. You're hurt. Corvin reached up with a trembling hand and touched my cheek. Corvin, what do we do? What do I do to help?
Shh. Nora. It's okay.
It's not okay! None of this is okay! He laughed softly, but it petered out to a weak cough.
I really wanted to go on a real date with you.
Tears spilled over as I leaned over him, sobbing. Corvin, please. No. No, no, no. Corvin. No.
I'm okay with this. I just wish.
His hand went limp and his eyes closed. His breathing hitched and he didn't take another. I let out a choked sob and leaned over him, holding him tightly. I wasn't sure how long we sat like that. Kara was a few feet away, completely unmoving. I should call for help. Call for someone. I couldn't move. I held Corvin, rocking until I couldn't cry anymore. I wanted it to go away. All of it. I wanted it to go back before I knew any of this was real. I wanted none of this to have happened. Reality had already begun to fade before I realized what was happening. But I couldn't fight it. I just didn't have the strength anymore. Gentle warmth wound its way around me. At first I thought someone was behind me. But when I heard the voice whispering at the back of my mind, I knew exactly who it was. And I gladly let her take over.
Come. It's time to go.
I can't leave him. I tried to cling to Corvin, but the world around me had already faded, telescoping away from me as I was pulled into darkness. I awoke, surrounded by light. Where? I didn't know where I was, but the sound of singing filled my ears. It was so beautiful. Why does it feel like I'm forgetting something important? Well, hello. Looks like we get to meet face to face. In Fairy. So we made it. Oh, I got so many emotions right now. I can't even, be excited about being in Fairy right now.
Hello again. Welcome to your new home.
She smiled at me and took my hand.
Now, let me introduce you to everyone.
I followed her quietly. What am I forgetting? There's definitely something. As we walked out to a room full of people, I thought that somewhere I heard the faint calling of a crow, but it was lost in a chorus of greetings until it completely faded, like an old memory, both fleeting and unimportant. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. Wow. That was intense. Goodbye, White Crow. I should have probably made a guess what that was referring to. Yeah, I probably should have. Oof. Huh. Well, that was basically the worst case scenario that could have ever happened. It seems like Kara lost her soul completely. Corvin died. She got whisked away. Is anyone even gonna think to look in a mine shaft for these three people? Probably not. Oh, man. Well, that was certainly an ending. Well, only one more to go, guys, so hopefully I'll see you for that.